Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the LET Golf Podcast. George and Nicola here, as always, and this week we're joined by the newest member of the LET Winners Circle, the champion at last week's Ladies Italian Open, Amy Taylor. Amy, thanks for joining us. And firstly, how does that sound? The winner now on the LET.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for having me. It's super cool to hear that. It didn't really sink in Sunday, but I've had a few days now, so it's kind of sunk in, and I've had a lot of messages, which has been really nice. But it's pretty surreal still.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, when you got over the line on Sunday, one of the things that struck me was it seemed like you'd done this tenfold, like you'd done this a million times before. You were so relaxed, and I couldn't tell if that was more that it hadn't sunk in or there was some shock to it. So, I mean, just try and describe that feeling when you did get the win in Italy.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy for sure. It hadn't sunk in like straight away. It's hard to kind of put into words like what you've just achieved. The opportunities that present themselves from winning is like endless. So it's been cool to kind of sit with that feeling, and um, yeah, it's still kind of sinking in.
Yeah. How were those final day nerves? Because you obviously came into it with a lead. You were leading by one. That lead at one point, I think, got to four coming into the back nine. So you looked very much in control. But how were the final day nerves, especially on that first tee?
Yeah, honestly, like I was pretty nervous before the round. I didn't think I would be in the lead finishing the round Saturday. I thought there are a few girls out there capable of posting a lower number than I did. And so Saturday night, I was pretty excited. I didn't really sleep much. I just wanted to get back on the golf course. Then Sunday morning on the range, I was pretty nervous. But I knew that once I went back on the golf course, like that's what I do, that's what I've been doing. So it was kind of like the warm up was the most nervous part. And then I was like, okay, get me on the golf course. Because once I'm there, like I know what I'm doing from there. But yeah, it was cool. I got off to a good start. So that definitely relaxed me. And um, yeah, I think the 18th green was pretty nerve wracking. But when the ball went in the hole, it was like all of that disappeared.
Yeah, that second part that just seemed to keep rolling and rolling and rolling, but at least then you got to put up the hill, which is a nicer of that
Exactly.
length. I mean,
Yeah.
as we saw with like Rory, God, that same day,
Yeah.
putting down the hill when you've got a nervy one is much worse.
Yeah, I
So
definitely felt that for Rory.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, just tell us then, because I think a theme that week was that you kept saying how you'd felt that your game was, going in the right, heading in the right direction. I know you played on the Access Series the week before. I think you came fourth. So what was it that is clicking, or what was it that clicked that week, would you say?
Yeah, I've been focusing on my game a lot. Coming off last year, um, I felt like I had some okay results, but it wasn't really what I wanted. So during the off season, I was just focusing kind of on my stats, what I did well, what I needed to improve on. Even with like not a great season last year, I was still in the top three for fairways hit, so I knew that was one of my strengths, but I wasn't converting to greens in regulation, and that's where I felt I was losing the most shots. So I've been really trying to work on my approach shots, and um, even the week before the Access in Helsingborg, I did miss the cut, but like I was seeing like a positive trend in my stats with with my approach shot. So I felt good in what I'd been working on, and it was just kind of like a matter of time, I felt. And then the week before France, I put in a new putter because that was also a part of my game that just wasn't quite fitting the rest of the trend. And yeah, I took confidence from Montauban for sure on the Access, finishing fourth there. I posted a low number in round one, so that was kind of like uh, reaffirming what I was feeling. Like, yeah, okay, I can make this number of birdies that I need to compete. And then, yeah, turning up in Italy, I felt pretty good. I was still working on a lot with my swing early on in the week. I sent a few videos to my coach. But then once the tournament came, it all kind of fell together, and I actually did play pretty faultless golf, which was quite peaceful, really.
Yeah, it's funny you say about greens and reds. I think that was the standout, especially from us watching from a side, was just how dialed in you were with the irons. I mean, I think even on the final day, there was two or three that you literally hit to like give me range,
Yeah,
which
I
just does
know.
help, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Like I've for the last couple of years, my strength has been off the tee, and I haven't converted from the opportunities I've been in compared to the players around me. Um, and so that's something that just I took and ran with over off season. Me and my coach worked hard at like, okay, how can I kind of change my perspective? What what is making me not hit the greens basically? We just felt like I was coming up short a lot of the time, fearful of being long. So I took the mindset of like, let's try and get it pin high, like unless the pin's obviously at the back of the green, but like let's try and be pin high more. And then in turn, that just gave me a lot more birdie chances. And Italy was just one of those weeks where my ball striking was good. So yeah, I had a lot of tap ins, which was nice.
Yeah, always helps. And you mentioned it, but now the changes in possibilities to your season. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that we were in South Africa and you were, I think it was Joburg, was it right? You were first reserve, didn't get in, then Investec, you were a qualifier to get in, and now a couple of months later, you get the win. You now have a winner's exemption. You can play in any pretty much well in all tournaments, any tournament you want. 3 years winners exemption. So I mean, what does that mean? Coming from where you were there to now, it's pretty incredible. What does that mean?
Yeah, it's kind of been crazy. My start to the year, I think I've already played something like 12 or 13 events. I definitely came into January feeling a better golfer than I was last year, but I had less status. So that was kind of something I was battling with in my head. Um, I committed to trying to chase status on the LET before the re-rank. I knew I had my two starts in Australia, and I got those through going to the WPGA and playing there in December. So I was grateful to know I had those. And then I went down and played the Sunshine Tour events and played a few there, but I didn't get any status. I basically had to win an event. I played three, my best finish was a fourth place. So I didn't play badly, but I had to win, and I knew that. So I then went to Australia. I felt pretty good. Played well in the first event, but just kind of fell away on the last 9 holes. I think that was kind of the pressure of knowing I needed to perform to get enough points for the re-rank, and I think that was definitely something I learned a lot from. And then the week after in Bonville, I played good, 2 under, and I was well placed, and it was cancelled, and I got told I was getting no money or half money, which everyone was really sad about, but I was more sad about the no points. So that was, yeah, that was kind of a tough week. And then I made the decision to go back down to South Africa to try and Monday qualify, which originally wasn't on my plans. And yeah, I did it. And honestly, going there, that was kind of what gave me enough points to re-rank. And if I hadn't have made that decision to go, I wouldn't have got into Italy. So it's kind of nice to know, although I chose a very hectic route that not many people would have done, it did eventually pay off. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And talking of opportunities, though, I think the funny thing was after you won was you were talking about the predicament you're now in because you'll be in the Scottish Open. So just tell us about that and the clash that you've now got.
So I originally had Taylor Swift tickets for the Saturday of the Scottish Open, and I am like a diehard Swiftie fan, like next level. She's all I listen to. And I've had tickets twice before. Gave one up to play golf as an amateur when I was like 14. It was for the Henry Cooper. I remember it. It's like scarred in my brain because I missed the cut, and I was like, oh, I could have gone. Like, why did I? And then the other time I had tickets was Hyde Park 2020, and it got cancelled because of COVID. So I was like, okay, I am not missing this one. Like, and then a couple of weeks ago, I confirmed it to my sister because I was like, okay, I'm not getting in the Scottish Open. Like, it's fine. I'll go Saturday. That's good. So we actually are both kind of diehard Swifties. So we bought multiple tickets. so we could kind of pick and choose dates to kind of help fit my schedule. So I was kind of gutted because I'm not going to miss the Scottish Open. Like, that's a great opportunity. But one of my sister's friends was going this Sunday, and so I've managed to swap with her. So I'm actually going this Sunday, and I'm so excited. So I've been like spending the last couple of days planning an outfit, which has been super fun.
What a week then. So you won last weekend, and then this weekend you're going to see Taylor. Doesn't get much better than that, does it?
Yeah, it's honestly like a dream weekend. Like winning one Sunday, Taylor Swift the next Sunday, like it doesn't get any better for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And just final one from me then. I mean, your win proved very popular. We know you have many friends on tour, Amy. It was very cool to see when you hit that winning putt on 18, just the amount of players that sort of came on. Moka was there, Micah Bing Polson, Shannon Tan. So, I mean, what does that mean to you? Obviously, winning is one thing, but having your peers come on to congratulate you, and I guess afterwards you've had a ton of messages as well. So how's that feeling?
Yeah, honestly, it's so sweet. Like, to have girls who want me to do well and are so happy for me when I do. I've got a really nice little friendship group on the LET now. Um, I'm so grateful for them. They make traveling so easy. And I mean, Mike can miss the cut and she followed me for all 18 holes. And that meant a lot for me. And I think she was probably as happy, if not happier, for me when I won. So that was super sweet. And yeah, Shannon's great. We have the connection through Texas Tech, and we weren't actually there at the same time, but we've kind of bonded over that and we've become super close. And Momoka's a great girl too, great player. She's having a great season. So it's nice to see her doing well, and it's nice that she was happy for me as well.
Open this one up. So we'll go back to the start of your golfing journey. I believe you were 9 when you started to play golf. So just talk us through how that happened.
Yeah, so I played everything, every sport growing up. I grew up in a super sporty family, so did tennis, swimming, dancing, like everything that little girls do growing up. Tennis was probably the main one I kind of stuck with, but I just didn't enjoy it at all. Like, I hated running. It just was not for me. So my older sister, she played everything I played and she was always better. I say it's because she was older. She might disagree, but I wanted to basically do something that she didn't do because I'm super competitive and I wanted to be the best. So I tried football. That wasn't for me. It also involved running. And so my dad took me to golf and it just stuck. I really enjoyed it. And I remember he told me a story a few months ago of when I first went, and he basically hit a golf ball and he hit a really good one. He was like secretly really happy and he was like, okay, just follow that, like do that. And then I like set up to it and I hit it in the air. And he kind of took a step back and he was like, okay, it must be a fluke, like try again. And I did it again and he was like, okay, we'll stay here. So it was nice for him to tell me that story. Like, I hadn't heard it before, but yeah, it's golf is a great game and I've learned a lot from it, and I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to do it as a job.
So what we get here is you really don't like running. Not at all.
Yeah, I really don't like running. I did take it up in COVID because I think it's a great way just to like clear your mind. So if I am super stressed or anything, like I did actually go for a run in Italy because I was trying to figure out like travel plans and stuff. So maybe I should start running during tournament weeks, but I see George often on his little
That's a
runs.
pretty, yeah, that's a pretty tough first tournament to start running. Like it was so
Yeah,
hilly in Italy.
I know. I don't really know what I was thinking. I was just like, right, I'm gonna go for a run. Haley and Rosie, I was rooming with them and they were like, are you okay? I was like, oh, I'll see you soon.
Hey,
But
hang on, I think there's a correlation here to you getting the win. So from every tournament, Switzerland next, I want to see out running.
okay,
Running.
on those hills I'll be doing some hill
Yeah.
sprints. But yeah, no, it's I don't really enjoy it, but it is good for clearing your brain. So whenever I feel kind of overwhelmed with something, I'll try and do a workout or go for a run. You usually feel better afterwards, but sometimes I'm not very motivated to go.
That absolutely makes sense. So back to the golf. Do you remember your first competition that you ever took part in?
I think I do. I took part in a 9-hole competition in Cambridge. I can't remember how it was, like a Stapleford points. I can't remember how many points I got, but it was mixed girls and boys, and I was like one of the only girls, if not the only girl. Um, and then I remember my first county event. Again, it was Stapleford points, and I came like dead last. And I remember coming off the course like crying to my dad. So really great memories.
Well, when was the point where you started to like competition?
Honestly, I have some great memories of amateur golf. Like when I was 14, I became the youngest ever county champion winner of Norfolk ladies. I had my dad on the bag that week. It's the only week he's caddied for me. So that's a super special memory for both of us. And he actually like it's crazy. He actually stopped at the golf club, like pulled over to check my scores when I won in Italy because he was driving past, so he just pulled in. And it was like 9 years ago now that I won there. So it's kind of cool that he did that. But yeah, I mean, I didn't have the best amateur career. It was very much I was taking a long-term view with my coach. I had a coach called David Ridley growing up, and he built my swing, gave me kind of the blueprint that I use now for it. And he retired like a year before I was turning pro, and at the time I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? But I have a good coach now in Steve Robinson, and he doesn't change a lot, which is great. He sticks with David's kind of plan, and we just kind of amend things, work statistically, talk about like the small gains. But I definitely did take a long-term view. So growing up, I wasn't always winning events, and I felt kind of, I did almost feel like my face didn't fit a little bit. I wasn't always picked for England golf teams at times when I felt I should have been. And then I got the opportunity to go to Texas Tech, and that really kind of boosted my confidence. When a lot of girls my age were still at home training in national squads, I was out at uni because I went a year and a half early. So that really boosted my confidence there. And then, yeah, I had a good kind of final couple of years, and then I was like, okay, I think I can do this as my job, and took it from there really.
I was going to ask about Texas Tech because, as you say, you were younger than other people when you went. So, just what was that like? First of all, getting that opportunity and being able to go over to America when you know 16, 17 years old.
At the time, like it was kind of a whirlwind. I didn't have a lot of time to think about it, which for me is probably a good thing. I'm a bit of an overthinker, so I got the phone call that they wanted to recruit me the day before my 17th birthday, and that was beginning of November, and I'd started university in January. So it was a super quick kind of no time to think, let's just go and do it situation. But I mean, I'm forever grateful to the opportunities Texas Tech provided. They believed in me when not many people did, and gave me the best resources to help me grow and thrive in that environment. I was definitely thrown in at the deep end being young, but they supported me in every way possible. And yeah, I mean, just created such a great culture to become a good golfer. I mean, I had a really good player as one of my teammates. She pushed me, Sophia Garcia. She plays on the LPGA now, and she pushed me. I lived with her. Like, it was always comparing my stats to her stats because she was winning college tournament after college tournament, and so it was cool to have her there. And then on the men's team we had Ludvig, which obviously is like next level. Just watching him practice and learning from him and seeing him grow and the player he's become over the last 2 years is obviously super cool. And we also had a couple of Walker Cup players there, my boyfriend and his brother. So, I mean, just the whole culture of the golf team, both men and women at Texas Tech, was a super cool thing to be a part of. And I am really grateful for that, because without that, I don't think I'd be here.
And what are some of your best memories from those 4.5 years that you spent over there?
Oof, best memories. My final year, I had 2 back-to-back second places early on in the spring semester. In my second one, I shot 14 under for 3 rounds, and at the time that was the tied lowest school record. Unfortunately, it got beaten by Shannon a year later, but I won't hold it against her. That was definitely a cool one. I just made a lot of birdies that week and it was fun, and someone just played better than me, but I played the golf to win, and sometimes it is like that. You play good and you get beaten. I mean, that's what makes golf so addictive, right? You can't control everything, and we keep coming back to try, but you can't. So that's definitely one of my best memories. And yeah, I was lucky with the team I had. I had a nice group of girls, all different nationalities. It was fun to just learn about each other and grow. And yeah, it was a really great experience.
And then you mentioned in those kind of last 2 years of college was when you started thinking, obviously, about turning pro and the whole process. So how did that happen? And then obviously, I presume with COVID, everything changed slightly anyway. So then you're having to rework out everything. How did you think about that moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, COVID was definitely a wild one. Like, my dad told me to stay out in the States because I rang him and I was like, there's this really weird, like, virus going around. Golf tournaments are being cancelled. Do I come home? Do I not? And he was like, no, stay. It'll be fine. Like, it'll be nothing. I went against him and I came home. And I'm so glad that I did, because I would have been so bored there. But yeah, it was crazy. Most of my classes moved online, which for me made it easier to practice golf. So I wasn't complaining too much. I got a pretty good deal with it being in Texas. It wasn't as strict as some of the other northern states were. So I still did get to play golf. And I got an extra year out of it. So I think had I not got that extra year, I might not have been ready to turn pro, but I felt at the end of the 4.5 years I was now ready. But yeah, COVID was wild, and I mean, I won't forget any of that. Like, it's crazy to think it was only a few years ago, but I'm glad that we don't have that with us now.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously coming on to the LET and Access series. So was that always your plan to kind of try both tours?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to come back and play in Europe for sure. When I was out in America, you are quite pushed to kind of do LPGA EPs, and it just kind of makes sense. But I mean, my family's here. At the time, my boyfriend was here. So it just made sense to kind of come home and give it a try. Played Access when I first turned pro. I had a pretty slow start, but ended up having a good season. Won the last event. That was really cool. But it was also kind of anticlimactic because I came off the course like after I'd won, updated the order of merit, and I'd come 7th, and top 6 got their card. So I was like, I've kind of done everything I can, and I still didn't make it. So that was tough to take for sure. But I mean, it was going to be a stretch anyway. I was going to have to play some great golf because I wasn't playing the full season. So I did know that coming in. But it definitely gave me a lot of confidence. Then playing LET last year was great. Meeting some of the girls, kind of figuring out how it all works. I got injured in May last year, had a shoulder injury, which kind of slowed my season down a lot. I missed 4 or 5 events. I did think about taking a medical, but for me, it just didn't make sense at the time. And then just kind of going through that, learning how to come back from an injury, how to keep improving whilst being injured. All things that kind of made me grateful when I was able to get back and start playing pain-free again. Because when you're injured at the time, you don't think that's going to be a possibility. So yeah, it was a tough ride last year for sure. And the beginning of this year wasn't easy just because I didn't have status. So it's kind of like nice to know that even when I was like grinding through it, it was worth it to get the win, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Final one for me. As you said this year, not taking the conventional route, having played in multiple continents across the world. But how nice is it to play in those places and get to experience the different tours? You know, just see what golf's like across the world.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of travel for sure. And I did 7 weeks in a row at one point. I wasn't sure if my body could handle it, more because I went South Africa, Australia, France, South Africa was kind of my route. And I was like, okay, is my body actually going to survive this, or am I going to get injured again? But I mean, the sights you see are great. Australia was amazing. I love it out there. We had a good bunch of girls and we took our time and explored a little bit. And same in South Africa. I have a really nice host family that I stay with out there now. So, I mean, I've met so many people along the way, and the more I travel, the smaller the world gets. You sit next to a person on the plane and suddenly they know someone from Norwich, and it's like, oh, okay, like I know them too. So it's like it's crazy. It's a super small world once you travel it, but yeah, it wasn't the most conventional route, that's for sure. And I sat down 3 weeks ago with my team, and I had a tough decision whether to play Access or play LET, and I had a lot of people pushing me to play Access because the status you can get for next year is incredible. And I did seriously consider it. I had a lot of people pushing me that way, but I just felt my golf was good. And I mean, trying to convince people without the results is quite hard, and you do doubt yourself a little bit, but I stuck to my word, and I made a commitment to play LET, and in the off weeks I was going to do Access. And I'm so glad I made that decision, because I wouldn't be sitting here as a winner if I didn't choose to play the LET. So I'm glad that decision paid off, because I was stressing hard about it a few weeks ago.
Yeah, can't even imagine. So does that, I'm so interested now, having that mindset just only a few weeks ago to now you've won. I know it's still fresh, it's not even been a week, but does it now completely change your perspective moving forward? Like how does the goal setting go now with a win under your belt?
Yeah, I mean, winning was a goal for this year. Playing my first major at St Andrews was a goal for this year. So killed 2 birds with one stone there, which was super cool. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, I mean, my main goal has always been to just get a little bit better at golf every day. And like I said, at the beginning of this year, I was a better golfer than last year, but I had less status. But I was still closer to achieving that goal. So you just have to keep plugging away at it, even if you're not quite in the position you want to be or you feel you deserve to be. You don't always get the things that you want or should get. And yeah, I just want to keep improving, really. Just keep enjoying it. I feel like when when you're playing golf non-stop, you can lose the enjoyment. I see a lot of people have lost enjoyment. The travel's hard, people don't realize. And yeah, as long as I keep enjoying it and keep getting better, that's what's gonna lead to some good results, I think.
Yeah, and you haven't touched the club since Sunday. You were just telling me off camera.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't touched the club since Sunday. I plan on touching one tomorrow, but it's been nice to take a few days. I mean, like we've discussed, it's been a busy start to the year, so just to kind of step back and take some time with the family. I love being at home. My family's super close, so it's nice. I have a little brother with severe special needs, and so it's nice to come home to him, and he doesn't care whether I've won or shot 85. Like, he's just excited to see me. But it was nice, I brought him home the trophy and he was like lifting it up and got super excited, so that was fun to spend some time with them. And yeah, I'll get back on the grind tomorrow.
Oh, I love it. And have there been any celebrations, any party? You were telling me perhaps not, but there might be this
Yeah,
weekend. What's going
yeah,
on? You got to
no,
celebrate the win. Come on.
maybe going to Taylor Swift is like my huge
Oh yeah, actually
celebration. Yeah,
that works.
we'll whole of Wembley will secretly be celebrating my win, they just don't know it.
Absolutely. And on that, then next up is Switzerland next week. You've had a nice week off to sort of refresh, taking the win. Do you go into that with different expectations? How do you approach, the event after a win? Because it's always obviously a big one, perhaps more of a spotlight on you, greater expectations. How are you feeling heading into that one?
I think it's definitely more challenging in terms of expectations. I always try not to set myself any because I think they limit me. So yeah, once you've won, you're in a different position, and for sure there's going to be a little bit more pressure in terms of eyes on me. But I mean, I'm still the same golfer I was, and I felt like I was capable of this. So um, yeah, Switzerland's a great course. I played it last year. Um, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, should be good. And you touched on playing the Open at St Andrews, obviously the big benefit of you winning last week, which will be amazing. Off the top of your head, are there any other events or countries that you're really excited to go to this year?
Yeah, I mean, the Scottish Open and the British Open are going to be the highlight of the year for sure. But I'm super excited to play the Irish Open again. I think that's a great event, and I wasn't sure if I'd get in with my re-rank category. Same with Lycea. I think that was an amazing event last year. It was actually my best finish last year. It was 21st, so that was my best finish on the LET before I won. So yeah, I'm excited to go back there and possibly have a few Aramcos at the end of the year, which I wouldn't have got in before. So it's definitely opened some more doors, and yeah, I'm excited to play some more golf.
Yeah, nice. And besides Taylor Swift, if you got anything upcoming, holidays, events, we always
Yeah.
like to get to know our golfers off the course a bit. So come on,
Yeah,
tell
I
us what
mean,
you've got.
I don't really have anything planned other than Taylor Swift. Um, my boyfriend also plays professional golf, so we don't have time really to go on holiday in season. We have a holiday booked to Malta between Christmas and New Year. That's kind of like the time we plan our holidays because we're like, okay, we're definitely going to be home. This one we can plan. Because a lot of the times we plan to do something and then one of us gets into a tournament last minute or an invite or blah blah blah. So we both live quite a hectic schedule. So honestly, I'm seeing him end of July. He's coming home for a couple of weeks, so it'll be great to see him again. And yeah, just I have a bit more flexibility with my schedule now, so it'll be good to spend a bit more time at home and maybe not be rushing about as much as I have been.
Lovely. Yeah. I think Malta has only got one golf course, right? So you won't be
Yeah,
tempted.
so we actually do try and target places that don't have golf courses. So last year we went to Venice. As far as I know, there's no golf course in Venice. We didn't find it anyway. And then yeah, Malta. We like just want to not see a golf club, you know. You see them every day of your life. So when we're on holiday, no golf is allowed.
Yeah, good stuff.
Well,
Nicola, any more questions before I go with the quiz?
yeah,
Quiz? The
yeah,
game?
of game. Game. I think we'll call it
Game, not quiz.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm just going to stick on the Taylor Swift theme, so apologies for anybody out there who doesn't like
Oh God, I'll just mute myself
As,
then and
yeah, mute
leave
yourself,
you two
George.
to
As someone who is also seeing her, but the week of AIG, uh, I know how you
Nice.
feel. I am flying down to fly back up again, uh, just to make
Yeah,
sure that I go
it's
and see
worth
her.
it. It's worth
Yeah,
it.
it has to be done, right?
Yeah,
But on
exactly.
that, so what is your favorite album?
I was discussing this with Helen Cruiser last week in Montalban. Honestly, I think it has to be Red. I think there's too many great songs on there to be ignored. I mean, All Too Well 10-minute version. I mean, who can write a song for 10 minutes? Like, only her. She's the queen. So I think it has to be Red.
My next one would be what song are you most looking forward to her playing? But is it the therapy of a 10-minute All Too Well? I mean,
Honestly, yeah, I think it is going to be that therapy. And I'm going to be surprised if I have a voice Monday, possibly Tuesday when you see me in Swiss. I may not be able to speak.
We'll get you for
yeah, good luck.
TV
Good
interview
luck
then.
for any
First thing,
interviews.
Yeah,
first thing
perfect.
Monday morning.
Yeah. So I will be
And then
surprised if I have a
yeah,
voice.
I will be the same at AIG. So sorry, George. And surprise songs. What would be your
Yeah.
dream surprise songs?
Me and my sister were discussing this the other day. Dream surprise. Honestly, I am gutted that she sung Crazier and All of the Girls I Loved Before in Edinburgh,
Yes.
because I had tickets for that night and I played Montalban and that would have been crazy. So I don't think I'll ever get over the loss of that, to be honest. I don't know. My biggest fear is that she plays one I don't know. That's highly unlikely because I know the words to 98% of her songs, but there is some early on ones that I don't know. So I have had Spotify shuffled on repeat for the last week. You can ask
Yep.
Haley, who was driving us around in Italy, because it has only been Taylor Swift. And she's like, can we listen to something else? I was like, no, I have to know the words. So
You have to
I
do the
thought I had until
preparation.
August to prepare, but now I only have until this weekend. So yeah, if it's a song I don't know, I'll be really sad. But as long as I know the words, I'll take anything.
I imagine you might be one of those people who starts singing the words and then like it doesn't click what the song is, because I've done that many a time watching the live stream.
Yeah,
And you're like, I know the song,
yeah,
I know the song,
for
now I don't know
sure.
what it is.
Yeah. Someone asked me like the name of a song the other day, and I literally had to sing until the chorus to get like the name of the song. I was like, oh God, what's it called? Like, and you're like rushing through just to get the like one word that you know is the name of the song.
Well, hopefully you will get some good surprise songs, and yeah, it will all be fine, and it will be the best night. Well,
Yeah, I hope so.
no, it will be the best night ever. Win second, Taylor
Yeah,
Swift first. No.
I think so. I think so.
What's a surprise song? Does she not just play everything? I don't
No, so
really.
she plays
No,
like
oh
32
George.
songs or something. And every single concert she plays two that like
Two.
aren't on the set list. So it's like
Oh,
one on the piano, one on the guitar, and she changes it every single time.
Every night. And then
But
sometimes she mashes them
she like
up so
ran
it's
out,
multiple
so
songs.
but they're
yeah.
her songs.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah,
Well, she started to sing songs that she's written. So she sung
but not her own.
This is
Yeah.
what we
This is
came
what,
for. Calvin Harris.
yeah,
This is
Calvin
what
Harris, Rihanna.
oh yeah, I
this is
did
what
see
you
that on
came
Yeah.
for.
when I was
Yeah, that's what
scrolling
you
through
Yeah.
came for.
reels. It came
So
up,
Yeah.
and
So
she
everyone's like
also
in the
has
wrote
comments.
that.
written
Yeah.
yeah, she
Right.
also wrote You'll Always Find Your Way Back Home for the Hannah
I
Montana movie.
If she does that, I will die.
Yeah,
I-
So that's what I'm hoping is my surprise song. If I'm being honest, that is what I'm hoping.
I was going to say that to you, Amy, about a minute ago, so I'm so glad you said that because yes, George is sat there like, I
God, you
don't know what is
Swifties.
going
I
on.
thought you two were quite normal, and now,
We'll convert you, George.
yeah.
Everyone who's in my life is a Swiftie now. We'll just slowly convert them one by one.
And in terms of outfit,
Absolutely.
is it a specific era or are you going for a blend or have you not decided?
Yeah, so
With your very short time
I
frame.
had a red glittery dress in mind, staying on the red theme. But I'm just worried I'm going to get cold because, like, it is England. So I think I'm going to go for like a lover's era outfit. So you'll have to stay tuned. I'm sure there'll be some pictures on the ground somewhere.
Where's this at? Wembley?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Wembley.
Yes.
I just saw she played in Cardiff.
Yeah.
Was it like 2 weeks ago? And Wales rugby
Yesterday
team
or
was supposed to
something.
be,
Yesterday,
yeah,
the day
the
before.
Wales rugby team was supposed to be playing. They were supposed to be playing South Africa, which is like rugby's like a religion in Wales, and they
Yeah.
had to move to Twickenham to play because Taylor Swift was playing at the
Yeah.
Millennium. I was like,
Fair enough.
this is
Taylor Swift
what is
like
happening.
gets priority.
We haven't had
Every
a
day of the
tour
week.
in
Clearly,
many
yeah.
a year, George. Come on. It's been years.
We need a crossover, like like the LPGA were in Singapore, weren't they, when she played?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone on
I-
our tour would
I-
lose it
Well,
though,
we
wouldn't
do have a crossover, but we're in Scotland when she's in London. It's close.
Exactly. That's literally the closest we get.
I know that Cara Gaynor has tickets for the weekend of the Scottish Open, and I know that Rosie Davies has tickets for the AIG week. So we've all been discussing like what we're gonna do. So there's a lot of Swifties out on tour, which is great.
Okay, that's a mini mic question sorted then.
Yeah. That's my mini Mac done. Can do that.
You can honestly learn a lot. Someone's
Finish the
favourite
lyric.
Taylor
That would
Swift
test
song.
the true fans, actually.
Yeah, that would be a good one. You can learn a lot.
Find the song from the 2% that you haven't listened to.
Yeah. I'll be like, oh my god, this is so embarrassing.
Good stuff. Right, I think enough of the Swifty chat. We'll move on to our final game, Amy, which is golf related.
Great.
So if you haven't heard it, it's called Perfect Player. I'm going to list several categories, and I just want you to name the first LET player that comes to mind, or the LET player that you would like to have this trait from.
Okay.
So we'll make Amy Taylor's perfect player. So starting with the top, driving ability. Who are you taking on the LET?
I would take April.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Yeah. She's some ball striker, and off the tee it's pretty impressive. So she's got length and accuracy. So yeah, I'd take April.
Nice, yeah. Somebody said her before, I can't remember who. So
Oh, nice.
she's
top of
stacking
the
up some
list.
votes now. Yes, yes, yeah. Absolutely. Right. Iron play.
I would pick Tan.
Shannon Tan.
Yeah.
Nice.
She's pretty.
You had to get her in there somewhere.
Pretty
After
fiery.
she took your record.
Yeah, exactly. She must be good. Yeah, no, she's pretty good into the greens and off the tee as well, to be fair. Yeah, we'll stick with Shannon. I'm liking
Nice.
this player so far.
Yeah, it's good. Short game then. This is where it gets tricky, I think.
Short game, easily Kirsten Rudgley. The shot she can create around the greens, I mean, it's next. I would take her short game in a heartbeat. Next level.
Yeah, nice. And someone who definitely is trending towards a win as well. I think
Yeah,
she'll
she's
be
knocking
in
on
the
the
winner's
door.
circle soon.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Putting then.
I think I'm gonna go Hayley Davis. Every time we play like a holing out game, it'll be like Lily, me, Kirsten her, she wins. I'm usually first out, to be fair, but she usually wins, so she must be good. We'll go with her.
Yeah, nice. And how is that camaraderie with the English girls? I obviously see you hanging around, but it must be nice.
Nice. It's good to have like a little group to travel with. It makes traveling so much easier. I think it can be lonely on tour sometimes, like especially if you're so far from home doing weeks alone. Like it's nice to just have people to go to dinner with, explore the country, you know.
Yeah, nicely put. And final one then, Amy, is mindset or mentality. So whose golfing head are you taking?
God, that's a hard one actually. I'm trying to think of who's like really like cool and calm. Hmm. I'm drawing some blanks here. Obviously no one's that calm.
Clearly not.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Moka. She's so calm.
Yeah,
And
she's
she's
laid
always
back, isn't she?
smiling. I think that's like where you want to be. Like she's so like obviously she's driven and she has that competitiveness, but she doesn't show it. She's just smiling, like chilled. You're like, oh, how did your day go? She's like, oh, not great, or yeah, it was really good. And it's just like the same vibe the whole time. So yeah, Momoka.
Solid, yeah. I wish I was that laid back and cool on the course as
Yeah,
well.
me
So
too.
actually, funnily enough, with Momoka, we played Ehrenvale after South Africa, Investec South African Open.
Yeah,
So we played with Shannon as well. Me and Lauren from the LET played with Shannon, and Momoka was staying on the course, so she knew we were playing, so came out to see us play the 18th. And I honestly, me and Lauren hit the worst shots. We both hit split the fairway as you do, and
yeah,
then
of
Momoka
course.
came out, and it was clearly the pressure of Momoka watching us, and we both like. I think Lauren snap hooked it out of bounds. I hit it into a bunker. It was like you couldn't have looked at two worse shots. So
Especially
now I'm
since
just
she
like,
came second that week too.
she
Like
came second, made
she
that course
knew
look
how
so
to play.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's us two just chopping it around. So yeah, I can't now hear her name without thinking of that shot. To be honest,
Well, I'm glad I
it's
didn't choose
damaging.
your mental strength.
No one wants that. No, like a child on the golf course still. Good stuff. Well, that is a pretty solid player actually. So
I think I've actually
very good. Some cool answers in there. Yeah,
built the coolest player on tour actually.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Right, Amy, thanks for joining us. We've kept you far too long, so we'll let you go and enjoy your celebrations and get the outfit sorted for Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Congratulations
essential.
once again. Yeah, congratulations once again on your first victory. It was really cool to be in Italy and to watch you to get over the line and now see all the opportunities that's presented to you. So congrats again, and yeah, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.